guys, it's Tony here. Look at this. Bitcoin fell. But what's interesting is that it's leading everything else to fall because everything followed Bitcoin and also fell. This is really important. Look at this. The only thing that went the opposite way of Bitcoin, if I turn on CoinMarketCap and I turn on for the last 7 days where everything moved, the only thing that actually went up was these top 6 cryptos that you can technically call pumping. But if you actually turn on, let's just look at BitTorrent, which actually pumped 20%, which is crazy because everything else is falling. BitTorrent, number 1 right now, pumping up. If you turn on the chart, you guys can see that it also had this huge dump right over here. Just the comeback that it had. You might be wondering why, if we dumped so much, why does it say we're bullish? Well, because we pumped back up. And what this last 7 days thing shows is it basically gets last 7 days, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm on the daily time frame, so each candle is a day. So 7 candles ago is 7 days. So over here is the point where that 7 days monitoring starts, and from here it calculates how high up Bitcoin is right now. And right now, of course, we calculate by the body because that's actually where Bitcoin is right now, and that is 29%. And if you go to CoinMarketCap, you can see that it's 28.1%. So it's really close to what I did. That is why it's saying that BitTorrent is bullish. But in reality, it also fell down and had this correction of about 34%. So it also had this big correction. Same thing with the next coin, Matic, Polygon, also went up 25%. And you might be like, wait, it did not dump? You said everything dumped. Well, if we turn on Matic, the chart, it did dump. And it actually fell a lot. It fell 32%. That's a really big dump. Of course, not as big as Bitcoin, which dumped 40%, but that's a really big dump because where Matic is right now, that literally came all the way practically down to its previous lower high, which is crazy. But after that, it regained everything, so it just came back up, which is why it's saying that we're right now pumping and we are right now profit 24%, because technically we are. For the last 7 days, we are actually bullish for Matic. So that's why it's pumping up. Same thing with all the other coins, except there are coins, if I flip it to show the biggest losers, we have these coins that didn't even regain anything. They didn't even start. Like we have this one right over here, Thorchain, 35.89. Horizon, 35.52. They both jumped 35, which is interesting. Then we have Immutable X, also 35% down. Cadena, 33%, Qtum 30%, Aave 30%, Theta 28%, Celo 28%, Avalanche 27%. Everything's falling, and practically every single thing fell in double digits. You come down, and already we're halfway done. We're almost done with the whole entire list over here of 100 coins, and right over here, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dumps that are less than 2 digits. Everything else is a 2-digit number. Everything else fell in 2 digits, which is why this proof that they are following Bitcoin. I can also, if you don't think this is enough proof, let's just go on Bitcoin and let's just compare it to some kind of coin. Let's just get Qtum, which is one of the coins that I mentioned right over here that fell. Right over here, 30%. If we turn it on Bitcoin, Qtum, new price scale, and Bitcoin is on the bottom and Qtum is on the top. Now, what's interesting is that they look really, really similar. And if I overlap them, you guys can see that whenever Bitcoin pumped, which is this one, whenever Bitcoin pumped, Qtum also pumped. Whenever Bitcoin dumped, Qtum also dumped, and whenever Bitcoin had this huge flash crash, which it had, like a couple of days ago, this week, Qtum did the same exact thing. And you can see that of course it's a little bit different ratio-wise, though it does look really similar to what Bitcoin did. This dump and pump back up look really similar to each other. So Qtum's following. Then there are coins that also follow each other, like I said, BTT, which is that huge coin that had this massive pump up. It's right now BitTorrent is #1 in pumping for the last 7 days. If I turn it on and I back it up with Bitcoin, you guys can see that BitTorrent looks also following Bitcoin. You can see that we have this pump up, which is Bitcoin also did. When Bitcoin dumped down, BitTorrent also followed, and when Bitcoin flash crashed, BitTorrent also flash crashed. And the interesting thing is what BitTorrent did recently, because Bitcoin only pumped a little bit, while BitTorrent pumped a lot. This is due to BitTorrent having more volatility than Bitcoin, I believe, because these massive moves up, that like this right over here, that was much larger than what Bitcoin had. That's a much larger pump up. So BitTorrent is much more volatile, which explains why it pumps up. And usually coins are much more volatile or much less volatile, and that explains why everything may seem different, but they are actually following each other. Like, even though it pumped really high right now, Bitcoin also pumped, and they are actually following each other. So Bitcoin is leading the way for all those coins. And this makes it easy to predict, semi-easy to predict where everything is going to go. If everything is following Bitcoin, then whatever Bitcoin does, they should do? No, not always. They can flip and they can stop following Bitcoin anytime. What I'm saying is what's happening right now. They are following Bitcoin. So unless they stay following Bitcoin and do not change, which is what you're going to have to see, they will follow Bitcoin. So what I said in Bitcoin right now applies to everything. Like I said with Bitcoin, it applies to Ethereum. My previous video, I talked about how we have a lot of resistance. So if Ethereum keeps following Bitcoin, then they should do the same exact thing. But this is a huge if. It's a huge if, because the only thing Ethereum has to do is go the opposite way of Bitcoin, and there you go, the correlation is gone, and now Bitcoin is free to do stuff without Ethereum interfering. And you guys know that Ethereum and Bitcoin are actually the most biggest coins there are, and they influence everything else. Bitcoin primarily, but Ethereum also. So if Ethereum flips, then we're going to have a split in the market, and some are going to be doing one thing and some are going to be doing the other thing. So if you are watching, if you have charts on, look at some kind of coin and see, is it correlating with Bitcoin? Is it correlating with Ethereum? Is Ethereum correlating with Bitcoin? If they are still correlating with Bitcoin, then you can watch my previous video to figure out what Bitcoin's going to do, because that's really, really important. Now, that is why I think everything is correlating with Bitcoin right now. And as long as everything stays correlating, and of course, like I said already, this is a big if, but as long as everything stays correlated with Bitcoin, because this is all crypto, they will be doing the same exact thing as Bitcoin does. So watch the charts. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to click that post notification bell. I'll see you guys next video. Bye!